Well, today we start our full day, long program. We will run from 9:30 till 9 in the evening. So we have a number of exciting lectures and presentations and workshops to do. So we hope that we are able to enlighten Theosophy much more than we have learned till now. Because sharing the experience in the workshops is also a very good one. Yesterday, our workshop 7 by 7 was quite a challenge for everybody. And I think we have learned quite a lot from it. And we like to integrate that in the future. Before we start with Theosophy Pure and Simple, I like to inform you a little bit from something we started very recently. In the light of keeping original publications alive, we started to put on our blavatskyhouse.org a page for Dr. de Brugge project, and we have inserted there a number of publications, books from de Brugge, and that are all books seen and checked by himself. And that is the revision we put online. You are able to download the volumes if you like. Of course, they are of a reasonable size, so you take some between 10 to 20 minutes or so. Then you have a PDF, a searchable PDF, so you can search terms and text in it. The text is protected, so you are not able to alter the text. So the original text should stay the original text, but you are free to use it. If you print it, you will see a small watermark in it, and that is another way of protecting it. But beside of this unfortunate protections, you are free to use it. So we have the esoteric tradition. We have the, what is this one? The golden precepts. We have the men and evolution. Some people surprisingly say, wow, it's an old book passed by all new investigations in science. But I can tell you, if you read the book and you follow very well the indications Dr. de Brugge will giving in this book, then I can assure you that you are very modern if you start to integrate this in your thinking. And of course the occult glossary is there as well. So we are still in the process to do other original publications of Dr. de Brugge, like questions we all ask, fundamentals will coming. But it takes some time, and sometimes you have to search very hard already for the right revisions, the right publications. And we have to buy them. The last one, I think we had to buy from Canada for a quite good price, $200, to get the good revision in. Because to make a good scan, we have to book. We have to take the book apart so that you have really a flat opportunity to scan it. So that is a very, for us, a very important project to keep the original things alive. So now we will start with Theosophy Pure and Simple. This presentation will be done by Erwin Bomas. Erwin, please.
So, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Is this okay for the sound? Yeah? Okay, perfect. I hope you all had a good night's sleep. At least I did. But if you think about this process we go through every day, every night, there are actually some simple questions you can ask. What is happening when we sleep? For instance, where were you when you were asleep? Or what was actually happening when you slept? Or who is waking up after you woke up again after sleep? And also when you wake up. it's just the next day, obviously, but yeah, we take it for granted that it's the next day. It's not. We didn't skip a day. There's nothing happened that we missed. Actually, you can find out. So there are some really basic things you can draw from just this process of sleep. Of course, we are still there. And what exactly happened, we don't know. But all we know is that it happens every night. We go to sleep and we wake up again. And at least that is what should be the case. But and normally it is. So thinking about this process that we go through each day, that already leads to really fundamental questions about, what is this process, this cyclic process, and who goes through this process? And actually, who are we? Who am I? So we see that if we just look at the current scientific, what we know and what is popular now, it's really hard to find answers to these questions. And yesterday we talked a lot about the 7 jewels, and we said, well, the 7 jewels can give you answers to every question in life. So I was just thinking, okay, what if we apply these 7 jewels to just this process of sleeping and waking? So let's see if we can find it. Well, to start with, reincarnation. Of course, that is very, very easy to recognize. This cyclic process, we wake up again after sleeping. It's cyclic motion. We can recognize this in all this process. And actually, it's the same process what happens when we die. And after a rest period, we are born again. But what about karma? Well, once you wake up, you are immediately confronted with effects caused by yourself by actions the day before. For instance, the alarm clock, which is ringing, because, you set the alarm clock at a certain time. The person next to you, you chose to join your bed with or your room with. And also you might be refreshed or maybe a little tired, depending on how you went to bed the day before. Okay, let's see if we can find hierarchies. Well, you're still human, still in the same realm of nature. You're not waking up as an insect or as a plant or whatever. So you find yourself back in the same hierarchy and also with just the same functions you have, and maybe as in an organization or working together in a conference. So you can find that. Self-becoming. Well, you wake up and you're still the same person with the same character, and you start again where you ended. So, like I said, there's not a day that skipped or something. There are no leaps. And sometimes we think, in our next life, I want to be a big composer. Well, you have to start this life already. And the same it is with just the waking up after a night's sleep. Progressive evolution. Well, of course, you are the same person, but you have some experience you had the day before. You have, maybe been to this conference, and you have had a lot of exchange with other people. You have learned something, and you have thought it over, and maybe you woke up with new insights or new experience, thinking back about what you learned the day before. If you do remember that. The 2 paths. Okay, you can think, who is waking up exactly? So is it just yourself, your personal self? Or you could say, is it yourself with a capital S? So, for instance, if you wake up, how much time do you spend before the mirror? and how important it is for you to make this appearance to everybody, or don't you even think about it? You just, of course, you have to dress and look nice, but yeah, what you will contribute this day, and don't even think about what you will do. And the last one, Atma Vidya. Well, you might say that every day, Atma Vidya, it says that everything in the core is part of the heart of the universe, of this one unity that we are in essence. So you can find that each day, and that every day offers you unique possibilities, also to express something of that divine self, or you could call it unity, or dharma, or duty, or law, or compassion, but it is there every day, these possibilities. So some things to think about if you apply these 7 jewels just on one single day. Okay, maybe it's nice to show very shortly what is process of sleeping and waking, what happens, and it's very similar to what happens when we reincarnate. We have prepared a little scheme for that. There were quite some days that mainly Bauke and Ellie took to create this. But I see there are some newcomers. I hope this will help you to, in a very short time, understand what this process of sleeping and waking, or dying and being born again, how this works. Well, from Theosophy, we see every being as consciousness. So we are, in essence, a stream of consciousness, which is composed of several parts. You could say very, very roughly that there is a spirit, a lasting part, a soul, a learning part, which are which we identify with, and finally our body, which is the transitory part. So what happens when we go to sleep? Well, when we are awake, we are mainly, our consciousness is focused on the physical sphere, on the outer world. And we have all kinds of experiences during the day. And at the end of the day, we get tired, and we slowly let go of all the feelings, all the desires we had, all the thoughts we had. And maybe we go over them a little bit before we go to sleep and think about what we have learned. And then finally, we sleep. But actually, what happens? Well, we lose the waking state of consciousness. We start to dream. We go into deep, what is also called dreamless sleep. And actually what happens is that, we leave our body aside, but our consciousness is, still there, but not in the connected to the physical sphere, but to other spheres, to spiritual spheres. But we hardly remember because we mainly identify with this part. So we don't, we cannot, we are not very conscious of all things happening in the spiritual sphere. But, well, you could say we are not, but still we are, because we are rested when we awake. So we can become more conscious if our consciousness is more directed to these spheres. And after a night's sleep, we will slowly wake up, we will pick up our thoughts again, and we start to become active. So, well, that, according to Theosophy, is actually nothing more than this perfect sleep. And the only difference between sleep and death is that we will change and have a new body during the process, which is why we also call this process re-embodiment. But actually the same thing happens. When we die, we let go of our thoughts, our desires, our feelings, but then also our atoms, which compose our bodies. And after a rest, we pick up these thoughts again, these desires, these feelings, and also our atoms. And then we form a new body. Our consciousness forms a new body to be active again in the physical sphere. Of course, this is not just a closed cycle, because we learn every incarnation. And so, it's a spiral. We grow and we are conscious more and more in also other spheres of consciousness. So this is what happens. This is also growth, which is not a goal in itself, but actually only a means to an end. And you could ask yourself, okay, then what is the end? What is the goal? What are we up to? Well, to answer that, I really liked what Nicholas in his lecture used yesterday, and that was a quote by H.P. Blavatsky, the founder of the Theosophical Society. And she said, Theosophy is the quintessence of duty. And actually, that's what we're here to. We're not just this person identifying with this body and going to sleep. No, we're part of a unity. We are connected, interconnected with all that is. And that's, I think, a conclusion we all drew yesterday in our workshop, I think, at every jewel. So that is what the end is, duty. And it is, actually also our duty to discover what our duty is. And we will talk a lot about that today, and I'm sure Johanna also will do in her lecture. So that's just a short introduction. I hope it was also a little bit to follow for our newcomers here. I see somebody sitting there. So, and you get an idea of this process, which also will be used in Johanna, her lecture. Okay? Do we have some questions first, or maybe, or if there are? Or we go to your lecture. Okay?